2022 is just around the corner. So you know what that means? We have to start setting those goals. And we're gonna hit those goals. If you want to reach all of those goals next year, then you've come to the right place, because I have plenty of tips for you, and this will basically be the ultimate goal setting tutorial. I love this time of year. It's so exciting to look back on the goals you've hit, the goals that didn't go so well, and analyzing what worked, what didn't, and how we can become better next year. So let's just get right into it. So, first things first, you should have a vision for your life for the next 5 years. This will basically be the end goal inspiration that you will use to set all of your other shorter term goals. And whenever you feel like you're going off course, this vision is what you can look back on. Now, you can just write your vision down, or you can even use a vision board to have in front of you and to have a visual reminder of what you want your life to be. Plus, creating vision boards is like really fun and a creative outlet to prepare for the new year. So, setting a 5-year vision for each area of your life. What are those areas? So the different areas of life that I'm talking about is career, finance, relationships, leisure or fun or hobbies, self-growth, health, and spirituality. And basically looking at each area to see what would be the 5-year ideal. Now, bear this in mind, you can achieve a lot in 5 years. It's actually really well known that people tend to underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years, yet they seem to overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year. So keep this in mind. Also, please do not overthink this part. Your vision will always change. We just want a ballpark of something so you have some sort of end goal to focus on. Your vision or your end goal in the next 5 years might end up very different. Who knows? But yeah, just don't overthink this. It's just a ballpark, and it's just something you can land on when it's needed. Something that excites you, because it's not discipline that makes you work on the tasks that get you closer to these goals. It's the passion. That's what drives people the most. And we want the kind of vision that would give you that sort of passion to work hard for those goals. Now, after you have your 5-year vision, it is time to break it all down into the yearly goals. So the goals that you are going to hit in the next 12 months or by the end of December 2022. Now, what type of goals should these be? So first of all, look at all of the areas that I just told you about. Career, financial, health, leisure, relationships, and spirituality. And see which one of those needs the most improvement. For example, if you look at your ideal vision for your relationship, for example, and you look at your relationship now, it's probably maybe already so perfect. It's probably already in such a great place. However, if you look at your vision for your career for the next 5 years, for example, and you look at your career right now, then maybe it needs more improvement. So then that would mean that prioritizing setting a career or business related goal in the next 12 months would be a lot more important than setting a relationship goal. Keep in mind, the more goals you set for the end of the year, the more realistic they should be. And on the contrary, the less goals you set, the more ambitious you can be, because you can focus on them more. Whereas if you have a lot of goals, you can only put so much energy on each goal, right? This also really depends on the amount of time you have and how much you can, for example, outsource or delegate, or how much external help you have, and other circumstances. But yes, make sure that it's a goal that's stretching you enough, but not too realistic that it'll actually overwhelm you and you see it as something to be upset about or stressed out about instead of something that inspires you to work harder. The range for the amount of goals that I would set for the year personally is around 3 to 7, depending. I'd say that is around the sweet spots. So a common mistake that I see people do, I used to do this too, is setting way too many goals and then making them quite ambitious as well. So a situation like that can get really overwhelming. As I mentioned before, people tend to overestimate what they can do in a year. Now, the next tip I have is to use the ClickUp goals feature. Now, if you've never heard of ClickUp before, or you've heard about it, but you want to maybe try it out, I have linked the website down below so you can check it out. Now, why do I like the ClickUp goals feature? It's amazing for visually seeing the amount of progress you're making on that goal, which keeps a person motivated. So instead of just checking things off, you either done it or not, you can actually see the small progress that you're making, which is huge, especially for yearly goals. You want to see that slow improvement and that progress that you're making, instead of only being able to check things off basically at the end of the year. And you can celebrate those small wins that you're making. You can either manually check your progress, which there are many different options to do that, or you can use the tasks option to automatically update the progress, which I actually don't really recommend doing for yearly goals because you would need to have all of the tasks that you're going to do for the next year in that goal, which is not realistic. I recommend using the tasks option only for really short-term goals, like goals for the week or goals for the month, for example. I also use this goals feature for tracking my quarterly, monthly, weekly goals as well. And if you want, you can even track your habits with it. So you can even go beyond just tracking goals if you want. You can also add a description, notes, you can change the color of the goal, and I also add little emojis in the titles to make it look cuter. Because we're all about aesthetics here as well, not just functionality. Now, after those goals have been set, it's time to brainstorm everything you can think of to actually reach those goals. So these can be a lot of different things: milestones, projects, ideas, tasks, habits, reoccurring tasks, anything that you can do, that you can think of at the moment, or that you want to research in the future. Just write it all down. What I recommend doing is creating a goal setting space in ClickUp and creating a list within that space for each of the yearly goals. And in each list, I start brainstorming as many things I can think of. And don't worry about trying to figure out everything, because these lists will always be updated, things will be completed, removed, added on, so you get some sort of an initial action plan to start immediately, instead of just floating around space and time next year. No, we don't want to do that. We need to start taking action as soon as possible. And we need to kind of know what we're doing, right? Don't get stressed out about making this perfect. So this will give you a great kickstart and also gives you a lot of inspiration. Now, after the brainstorming has been completed, we are going to break down the yearly goals even more. And we're going to start by breaking it down to quarter one goals. So instead of doing all of the quarters at once, these things will evolve a lot. So the best thing to do is just go quarter by quarter, month to month. So let's just start with the quarter. So the first quarter will be January, February, and March. So just look at the yearly goal and see what can you do in the first 3 months to get closer to that goal. Then once you've set your quarterly goals, break them down even more, and then set your monthly goals. So when it comes to the monthly goals, since we've only set goals for the first quarter for now, we're gonna set our monthly goals to January, February, and March. Now, once you head to the end of the quarter, then during those resets, so like around a week before the quarter ends, you look at your yearly goals again and use that to set your quarter two goals. So that would be April, May, and June. And then break them down to monthly goals for each month, and just do that between each quarter of the year. So yeah, using the yearly goals as a guideline on how to set your quarterly and monthly goals as well. The next tip I have is having reset routines. I've talked about reset routines so often in my channel because I really do love them so much. It's such a great thing. I found out about reset routines through Michelle B, and she is great. She really gave me a lot of inspiration on my productivity journey years ago, and ever since I found out about the idea of reset routines, I have been obsessed. They have really helped me so much. I will rave about them forever. So having a weekly reset routine, a monthly reset routine, and a quarterly reset routine. And they're literally and these routines are for you to review your progress, the progress that you've been making. What's working, what isn't, seeing how you can change your course if that's needed, and all of that good stuff. And basically just preparing for the next quarter, month, or week, and decluttering or reorganizing your systems or your physical space, your digital space, and all of that. And if this step is skipped, I can guarantee you that your journey to hitting your goals will go very off course very fast. And I can honestly say that from experience. Now, planning for your goals is just the baseline. Now, if you also want some tips on setting the goals you want to work on, I have a 5-step guide to accomplish your goals and beat overwhelm with clear direction. It teaches you the steps as well as the planning mistakes to avoid. The link will be down below. I also recently posted a video about books that I think are a must read to reach your goals and stay productive in 2022. And it includes plenty of books, like I said, from productivity, setting goals, time management, your mindset in general, and so much more. So you can have more inspiration to succeed next year. I hope you have an amazing, productive week, and I will see you next time.